today we are going to discuss the final part of marketing function. The main points that will be discussed includes price, and we are going to explain the different methods that can be used for setting an effective pricing system. The second point related to promotion mix, and this includes advertising, personal selling, sales promotion, and publicity. Okay, let us start with pricing methods. The first method that can be used for setting a reasonable price for the market. Actually, business have different methods for setting prices. These methods can be classified into first, full cost; second, break-even analysis; and finally, the price can be set up according to the market conditions. Each method will be explained as follows. First, the full cost. It involves the calculation of the cost of production and distribution of the product, and a percentage added on profits. For example, if the total cost for 1 unit £10 and the percentage for profits is 10% of the total cost, then it will be equal £1. So 10 plus 1, so the selling price will be £11 per unit. And this method is very simple. Okay, the second method is break-even analysis. And actually, companies need to know at what point in the production of a product they will being able to make a profit. Break-even analysis uses the concept of indirect costs, or sometimes called fixed costs or overheads, and the direct cost. These can also be called variable costs. and enables the price setter to investigate the implication of any number of price volume alternatives, as shown in Figure 1. As you see in Figure 1, there is the horizontal line representing the number of units, sales or output. I see indirect cost is parallel to this line because the fixed cost then doesn't vary according to production. And the direct cost starting from 0 point, and there is a line, total cost, indirect plus direct cost, and the last one for the total income. Okay. To explain the diagram very shortly, you see indirect cost such as management salaries, rent, and administrative costs. These costs are not vary with the level of output. Therefore, it is represented by the horizontal fixed cost line in Figure 1, as we mentioned before. Also, direct costs include raw material, pay, and energy. These costs are related to production or sales. In other words, increases in output will lead to a proportional increase in those costs, and their line will be an upward sloping one as shown in Figure 1. Direct and indirect costs combine to give all costs or total costs. The remaining information contained in a break-even chart is the income line. This shows or indicates the total income from pricing the product a given price. The break-even point is normally represented as that level of output where the total income from sales of a product or of service matches exactly the total cost of its production. Break-even quantity in figure 1. Such an analysis of costs income relationships can be very useful to the pricing decision makers, because at the break-even point, total cost equal total revenue. So according to the break-even analysis, the decision maker can be able to set up an effective and efficient pricing system and in a position to compete very strongly in the marketplace. Okay, let me draw your attention to another use of break-even analysis. Is to compare the break-even points associated with different prices from a product. So the break-even analysis can be used by decision makers to compare between break-even points associated with different prices for a product. A simple example of this is shown in figure 2. Figure 2 clarify for us break-even points versus different prices. So the diagram clarifies for us different break-even points according to different price levels. The diagram clarifies for us the income which would come in from sales a specific price. One can see the effect of selling the product at various prices as indicated in figure 2. The income from pricing the product at £3, for example, the break-even point will be R1. The income from pricing the product at 4 LE, the break-even point will be R2. And the income from pricing the product at 5 LE or pounds, the break-even point will be R3. So In each case, there is a break-even point, as we mentioned before, A1, A2, and A3. And from the diagram, we can note that R3 will result in the firm making profits earlier than R1 and R2. However, the process of break-even analysis shows that or clarify for us what point a company can begin to make a profit at a given price, but it doesn't tell the company what exactly the prices to charge. Okay, the last methods for setting prices, market conditions. And before setting a price for a new product or adjusting the price of an established one, the range of prices and the product features of the competition must be evaluated. In other words, the company should set up a reasonable price according to the market conditions to be able to compete very strongly in the marketplace. Okay, let us move to the second point in this part, which is related to promotion mix. Actually, promotion can be defined as the process of telling customers about the firm's products. And in other words, it is a communication process. Promotion mix is defined as the range of marketing communication methods. It includes advertising, personal selling, sales promotion, and publicity. Each one will be explained as follows. Advertising. Advertising can be defined as any paid form of non-personal presentation and promotion of ideas, goods, or services. So it is or it takes paid for and non-personal presentation. And there is two types of advertising. Persuasive advertising and informative advertising. Actually, persuasive advertising aim to get people to buy a product in order to increase sales. It is often used to establish and maintain brand names. On the other hand, informative advertising is concerned with giving information about the product. For example, changing the prices policy, or changing the design for the product. And so on. Okay, the second tool in promotion mix is personal selling. And personal selling can be defined as the oral presentation in conversation with one or more prospective buyers for the purpose of making sales. So it is personal presentation. The third tool is sales promotion. And it is defined as marketing activities other than personal selling, advertising, and publicity that stimulate consumer purchasing and dealer effectiveness. Finally, publicity. Publicity is non-personal stimulation of demand for a product, service, or business unit that is obtained by commercially significant news about it in a published media or obtaining favorable presentation of it through other media. And it is not paid for by the sponsor. Okay. So these are the four main tools for the promotion mix, which includes advertising, personal selling, sales promotion, and publicity. Here is some questions for review and discussion to examine your understanding to this part. Thank you and good luck.